Thank you very much, Puckett. Yes, these two teams, Legion versus the Subliners, both of them actually coming off a loss, slightly different. Legion did lose versus London, and New York lost versus Atlanta. This is looking like an underdog team. I don't even know how to really get this. New York looking like one of the best teams in the run-up to Boston. The Legion have been getting better, but that is a massive setback against what was the lowest seeded team in the CDL.
Very true, Bryce. But if you were to try and bounce back, well, who better to bounce back against other than our Stage 1 champions? New York have looked very, very strong throughout the entire season so far. Hardpoint really has been their bread and butter, but S&D is something they have struggled with. Vegas Legion are going to try and counteract that themselves, but Hardpoint and the other mode, of course, in Control is going to be the real struggle here. New York should feel comfortable. Hotel should be an interesting one as well as we kick things off.
See, at the moment, Temps is trying to hold off the Subliners, but you are completely correct. As we look forward towards Boston, both these two teams sitting on basically opposite sides of the CDL. For Legion, it's all about climbing and crawling their way up that leaderboard. For New York, they're trying to cement themselves as the top dog. But what happens here could decide it. For Legion, they're probably already looking towards the S&Ds because New York have been incredible in the hard points.
They really have, and something to kind of look towards when we're talking about this map and specifically New York. I think everybody at home will know about their hardpoint game mode. Very well rounded when in terms of coming down to rotations. They're fourth in break percentage, fifth in hold percentage. They are very much near the top on every single stat that does seem to matter. Clayster, though, trying to lock in a rotation here over towards P2. It's not going to happen. An easy break for the Subliners, and there should be some time on the board for them. But yeah, it's coming down to the fact that Subliners are just too well rounded. They will chip away with breaks, rotations, so it doesn't matter. They can kind of do it all.
Well, at the moment, that is going to be all of it done as that kill feed fills up. And New York firmly in control of P2. They are throwing up the defenses. There could be a potential for a bit of a pinch here, but right now it's not going to be the Legion in the position they want to be. 30 seconds left on this. If Legion don't move now, they're going to have to rotate.
Yeah, there's a lot of time going over towards the New York Subliners. P2 has been a really big struggle for the side of Vegas Legion. Is that going to be a break coming on through? Though TJ will find the gunfight, and I believe that's one of the first times we're ever going to actually see the Vegas Legion find themselves a break with some decent time. There's a big stat to go into very shortly, Bryce. I'm going to leave it until we get a little bit later in the game, but it's a weird stat. After looking at them all and looking at this rotation over towards P3, Vegas Legion are one of the better teams at breaking this. Not going to happen this time around, as Subliners will lock in some time, but let's keep an eye on how they do in P4, 5, and 6, because it hasn't been looking good so far.
No, it hasn't, but this is a big potential here. The Legion, they have to get in. They have to try and break this. They got the scrap time. The rotation has gone forward. Priestahh now on a 4 streak as well. And they have to slow down. The Legion Temp is just going back and forth because none of his teammates have won a gunfight. He goes down as well. Only TJ able to get anything here against the Subliners, as Legion have been pushed further and further out. With 30 seconds left to go, they'll go for one more chance. But right now, nothing for Legion.
And that could be disastrous because Legion really do count on the fact that they break this the majority of the time. When it comes into it, they are one of the better teams, as mentioned, on Hotel, just getting it up there. The P2, they're breaking it 40% of the time, which is realistically speaking relatively good. You know, you don't really see too many teams coming into that. Sorry, P3, 66% of the time. So even better than the original stat that was wrong, Brycey. It's good stats, but not able to get anything going there. Subliners, a 60-point lead so far.
Well, this is big for Legion. Huge if they can hold. They desperately want these points back because whenever they're not in, it is a daunting prospect. But Priestahh is trying to play his life here. I just made one. He's desperately trying to get Prolog off of this. He took that gunfight about 3 times and eventually ended up losing it. But Legion still holding. KiSMET, though, through the back, finds one. Looks for the second, but Clayster's down and gets him before he can do any more damage.
Good kills coming in here from HyDra as well. Spawn's still there for the Vegas Legion towards the back. The split is firmly in control now with the Vegas Legion. Can they manage to find a pinch through map? Not looking likely. 20 seconds still to go here, and it's been a walk in the park so far for the New York Subliners. Skyz sitting at 7-4, Priestahh 9-3. Not surprised to see that after the last time out against the Vegas Legion for the New York Subliners. Priestahh dropping a 1.5 in the hard points. He's keeping that one up here nice and early. Rotation's already in. Vegas Legion nowhere to be found. New York Subliners making it look easy here, Bryce.
They certainly are, winning heavily in the slaying game, the rotation game, and the breaking game. But technically, we're only really one hard point worth of points away here. A quick break for the Legion could bring them screaming back into it. Already, there's 2 kills going down as Legion swamp before it. HyDra's trying to do everything he can, gets a kill and stays alive, eventually taking out, but you can see right now that is a huge break for Legion.
Yeah, and it's an important one as well. When I was going to delve into the strange stats from P4, 5, and 6, for the 3 times that Legion have played this map, they have not broke a single one of those hills when they haven't been the first one there. There's that stat completely out the window already, Maxi. So that whole stat line, that whole storyline I was going for seems to be out the window as Pro & Co managed to find the break and managed to find the hold here. And as you said, yeah, it might not have been a good start for the Vegas Legion, but you have one good hold, you bring the game back, and it's all of a sudden only a 30-point game as we head over towards P5.
Well, they're going to try and hold this one as well. It's probably on a complete killing spree. Eventually, the knife is not going to work against the gun. But Legion are screaming back into this game. Let's find out how they are feeling in the comms, though. The Vegas Legion, listen in.
Yeah, first side couch. First side
Listen,
couch.
I'm holding a little
I'm
bit.
missing Priestahh. Priesthah's
I can shoot mid from hill. I can shoot mid from hill.
Priestah's flanking kitchen.
I have all low bed. I have all low bed.
Spawn down.
Help me, you
Spawn
got
in
it.
the back. Priestahh weak. Kitchen weak. He's in kitchen. They don't want to back
Literally one
kitchen.
bullet. I'm dead.
Top light. Yo, top light. Join top lights the hill. Just stay alive.
Light stairs.
I'm one shot.
Stay up. He's on time.
He's in the back.
He has to be close right. You're just like.
He's in bed. He's in bed, guys.
I'm dead.
Man, no.
Here,
Top bed. Top bed.
Top bed.
Top bed, Cammy dead. I killed him.
Top bed.
Hot tub, Priestahh, hot tub. Nice. 3, missing 1 kill.
Back left stairs. Coming to you, Teach. I can get time.
Get off
I spawned spa. They're spawning kitchen right side, guys.
Backstairs.
Back cage as well.
I'll be backstairs.
Oh, good. Sorry,
Backstairs.
Two bed. What's in bed?
1 shot top bed, Priest.
One
Don't
is top
cat.
bed,
Left side
okay.
top cat. Left side top
The
cat.
one
1
spawn
shot.
P4 on you.
Nice. You're missing 3. Skyz, HyDra,
Okay,
kids.
one-
P1. He's under me P1. Challenge.
Coming con.
Con dead.
Guys.
I can get you.
HyDra.
Bench. Last one.
Bench 1 shot HyDra, bro. 1 shot
Randy,
HyDra.
Randy one. Randy one.
We
We
gotta watch your
Double.
back, bro.
Zombie con.
Con.
You're bar.
I'm pitching top chat.
Couch. We can square.
Couch dead. Where's
said I'm
square?
Laying down midside hill. Laying down midside hill.
And one
And
is
con.
not.
And con. Priest con.
Dead.
Just laying down con
Missed that
pillar.
point,
Con
missed that
pillar.
point.
Con pillar. Right, so it's okay,
He's
guys.
not-
Alright, one's the barges, one's
Yo, he's on the
I
mid-side
spawned
point.
right side.
Mid-side point towards their side, behind the couch. Mid-side point.
I stun one.
On couch.
That's under one.
Maybe double pillar, guys.
Our son is
One. Beat their side. Really beat their side. Caesar.
Side cage.
There's side one.
Yeah, I know.
Try my dub.
Double
Double on you.
Dub on you.
Their side 1, 2.
Come down shit.
We went con. Or we went cat. Let's go.
Lay down there.
Middle pill dead. Another one right side. Skyz is right.
Two ton. Another one ton. In
Watch out,
ton. In ton. He's
Picking up dead.
Con dead.
Nice. I'm looking at it. Going for it.
Well, it's not really fire in the comms. It is cool, calm, and collected. As the Legion looked to find at one point HyDra, they couldn't get him. But they have got this rotation. They are not a million points away. And I was expecting maybe a little bit more fire and speed in the comms, but they seem to be breathing pretty easy.
Honestly, we say breathing pretty easy, but I heard the frustration in Clayster every time he's killed by HyDra. That guy must just be an awkward guy to go up against. But yeah, ring around the rosy, it has to be said, when they were trying to find them. But this lockdown kind of coming here for the Vegas Legion. Clayster will find one, HyDra with the other. P2, as said, has been a struggle for the Vegas Legion. Right now, the Subliners, though, kind of just doing what they need to do. Priestahh towards the back surviving will be important here.
Certainly, we'll look at the way that spawn's come through. They're just pulling the players every single direction for it. One more push here. New York are going to break it as well. They get 3 down, and HyDra is already putting hot feet to ground. He is trying to get away for this spawn as well. It's a huge break from New York. Scrap time and the rotation could bury the Legion.
10 seconds to go, and you're looking good. This rotation is pretty much everything for the Vegas Legion. Prolute, TJ Haley are both here. You've got Temp towards the back. Can they find anything? Well, that's going to help things out as KiSMET falls to his own teammate's grenade. Looking good for the break here for Vegas Legion. And rotation secured. Subliners are out of it. We'll have to find a break themselves.
Oh, it's just a huge hold from Legion. This is ridiculous. HyDra trying to do everything he can to stop them, but Temp finally turning up in this game. Finds 2 as well. Clayster gets another one. HyDra's still alive, but he's got to wait. He has to be patient. His teammates are coming. No stun check there. It should be a kill on the Clay. He's not going to get it. Clay guns him as well. This is huge for the Legion, and they can go ahead here if they can just hold their nerves.
Temp eventually does fall. 30 seconds still to go here. Priestahh. Oh, he is a slippery little snake, isn't he? TJ, he's the next one on the chopping block. It's a third. HyDra is there to clean it up. Priestahh doing what work he can. Temp back in to try and find something. It's still 15 seconds to play for. We get a 10-point game.
Temp's going to take on HyDra, and HyDra is going to win it. They are still in the lead, but just. And the pressure now mounts. New York are here first. They've got the kills. TJ is around the back. He has to wait for his moment to strike. Skyz is looking. Will the timing go his way? It does go for TJ. New York are reeling. They have to get through here. KiSMET is ready with the pre-aim. It's all up in the air as the spawns fly around the map as well as he goes down to a nade. Clayson getting 2 more and the Legion are in.
Huge hold. Vegas Legion are the ones here. Last time around that these two teams played, it was a 12-point victory for Subliners. It looks like we're heading down this similar route once again. 30 seconds left to go here for the Vegas Legion. The kill's starting to come in for them. That's a 3 dead, and it may well be 4 as well as the child comes in. Prolute and Calista combine. Legion in the lead.
They certainly are. Let it not be the same Legion story, though. They have lost it in late games before. And with 17 seconds left, they are going to try and get as much scrap time as possible. Right now, New York have it. The rotation is also going to be there. Temp is ready on the other side of the map, but he is alone. New York know him as well. They're going to already put a hit marker onto him. He's going to be pinched out of this. There's nobody there to support him. The Legion will not be in this next rotation. They have to break the Subliners.
And the scrap time that came through from Subliners was massive. It just threw Legion off their stride a little bit, pushed out the wrong directions. It has to be a good break. Could be off the back of the Hellstorm missile coming in.
This is going to come in. The rest of the team are going to try and hit at once. Tropius has made him everything, but he gets one with it. TJ has to make this gunfight in here, and he does. Huge with TJ, but HyDra gets the trade as well. Prolute trying to swing in. He knows he's going to be there. He's trying to get it, but the snakes are flying around in restaurants. KiSMET with that dog in him gets 2, and it's only going to be TJ who's in a position to stop it.
10 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. If you are the Vegas Legion, this is your last chance. You've got to go. You've got to go. Now they're all dead, Pricey. That should be the game. Oh my God, Subliners just about locking it in. Legion made it difficult, but Subliners clutch up when they need to.
Always the same story. But there is a silver lining. The Subliners do walk away with the hard point, but Legion looked better every single time they have a tight hard point. Their game has improved, but it is just not enough. They could not get that break they needed at the end. They had the Hellstorm coming in, but they lost the gunfights. That is the problem. You saw what happened. 2 players from New York took down 2 players of Legion, and while the Hellstrike got the trade, bear in mind that Prolute was not near the hill, so it essentially becomes like a 3v1 in hill. The trades are so bad for them, they have to stagger it again. Never works out.
Temps wars continuing on this map. I didn't really get the touch on it throughout, but overall in the hard points in general for the side of the Vegas Legion, a 1.07 is what you get out of Temp, which is the kind of numbers you would come to expect from a player of his ilk, but overall a 0.79 when it comes down to Hotel, those numbers are going to be tumbling down as well with a 14 and 24 scoreline. I wonder if the map is just not suiting him in particular, because the rest of the team are there or thereabouts. If he could start to figure this map out a little bit better for himself, like look, slaying isn't everything, the Vegas Legion would definitely have a chance on. That's 0-4 now for them, but the majority of their games have been close. If we can get Temp to figure this map out just a little bit, I mean, look, he's 1-8 at this stage. Then maybe they could be in a bit of a better spot heading towards the end of these games, but they're so close that even if he just goes average, they're looking good, right? Surely.
Yeah, it's one of those cases that we've talked about before, that the stats don't always tell the story. Like, we know that Legion famously has a really bad hardpoint record, but you are correct. There has been a lot of very close games with them. The last Hill Legion really is a problem. But if they could just tie it up, like, there was great plays in that game. Like we said, that like towards the back, they managed to get, they managed to break them out. They had a great time for it as well. But I don't know. It's tiny little mistakes. It's tiny little issues with the Legion. Fortunately, they don't seem to make many of those in S&D.
Yeah, fortunately for them, but they need to start doing a little bit better at hard point of control. I mean, look, let's give them their dues here. They are up against New York Subliners. That's win number 6 in a row when it comes down to hard point. New York looking so good in this mode. And as we said at the top of the map, it's not even like in terms of their stats that they pull up any trees in terms of their rankings and things. Yes, okay, they do look fantastic, but it's every single facet that you have in hardpoint. We always try, when we look into the stats, we got hold percentage, break percentage, and then rotational win percentage. That's something that not just us, but the the coaches of the teams didn't remember the weather. The coaches of the teams will be looking at and trying to understand which way things are going. You'll always hear us talk about these stats specifically because we feel like they're the most important ones. They are just within the top 5 or 6 of every single team for every single one of those statistics. And sometimes though, Bryce, you know, we will talk about teams like Atlanta FaZe are really good at breaking, but their rotational percentage is really low. This is why they tend to struggle in hardpoint. New York are just overall very, very good in every single one of those things. Flawless in terms of their, I want to say, essential moments in these hard points, and that's what makes them so hard to beat. They can break you, they can out-rotate you, and they're really good at holding as well. A very, very difficult team to beat on the HP.
Yeah, and that's probably why I say silver lining for Legion.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, coming into this, we didn't really think they were going to take it. Like, even as close as they did, like, that's kind of the crazy thing. No disrespect to the Legion, because I genuinely believe the Vegas Legion team is improving slowly but surely. Yep. Obviously, the London loss was a blow. Coming into this, if you'd said Vegas Legion versus this New York team in its current form, even 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, you'd think New York would stomp all over them. I think the Legion team is better. They have to fix this issue late game in hard points. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sure all the coaching staff are trying to figure it out as well, because they constantly get over 200 points and lose the game. Fortunately, there is a very strong side to Legion, and it's this next game mode. Search and destroy for Legion is their mainstay. They just need to get a respawn somewhere.
And just to finish up and put a bow on the hard point, would you rather be losing it by those 10, or would you rather be getting smoked? I think I'd rather be losing by the 10. It means you're there or thereabouts. But Search and Destroy, as you said, is not something that they have struggled with. TJ S&D ranks so far this season very much near the top, but Clayster is somebody I want to keep an eye on this one. 12 snipes in 18 rounds that they have played in aBeZy when the sniper has been brought out, so he is very much somebody to look out for with that sniper. It does make a difference in terms of their round wins. When he's sniping, 77% of their rounds have went their way, and it's only been 50% without it. So keep an eye on Clayster. He has been a massive factor when it has come down to aBeZy Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and that's what they'll be relying on here. The difficulty for Legion is trying to overcome, and again, it almost feels like two different sides of the CDL, right? We know New York, we've been talking about them on the road to Boston, just over a week away. We know that New York are one of the top teams. For Legion, we are trying to figure out where they should sit. We're trying to figure out how well they are going to play when it comes down to LAN. They're not in a facility. They are waiting to prove themselves on the main stage. For New York, they should be basically just using this game as a bounce back, right? They are the heavily favored team. Everybody believes they should win this. Even when we go into this S&D, my head says Legion, but I just don't know.
It's difficult because this is a bit of a weird one, actually, because when we do look over towards it in terms of how many bans typically come out, New York 73% of the time this one's gone. They've vetoed this Search and Destroy more than any other map, so this is usually their auto ban. And going up against the Vegas Legion, who really don't mind it, they're sitting at 4-1 overall record, and as mentioned, the Clayster stats, when he is bringing that sniper out, he's so influential. So Subliners, it feels like, I don't want to say necessarily an ego child, but trying some new things out here up against a very strong Search and Destroy team. We've seen a lot of teams challenging the Florida Mutineers on this map specifically because they're very good at it as well. So maybe trying to learn, trying to just figure some things out against some of the better teams. I think that's what Subliners are trying to do here right now against the Vegas Legion.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, like, let's go back and talk a little bit about the comms, right? Because obviously we're just waiting for this to load in. The comms there from Legion, it did sound cool and calm, but also a little bit exasperated. And I even think I saw in the camera just a little bit of frustration coming in at points from them.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the fact that they're playing New York, and at one point they literally couldn't find HyDra. They knew where he roughly was and were running. I think it was TJ was running around the map, desperately trying to catch him as he kept slipping away. And maybe just losing their calm in those key moments is the problem. Like, there is still an awful lot of people looking at this team. They're under a microscope after every single game. And actually, considering that they just had to win a little bit and kind of lose that losing Legion mythos that had come in with them into this season, the pressure now feels like it's maybe a bit back on because they've got higher expectations of themselves as well.
100%, because, you know, the ghost of Paris past, if you like, is kind of gone now, isn't it? And don't put that down on the tally, it doesn't count. I was talking about when they were Paris. Vegas is very much now here, is the new Legion. Search and Destroy, though, has been something they've somewhat come to rely on in the certain sense of kind of similar. I mean, very, very similar to the Florida Mutineers. They've struggled in the other game modes, but when it's come down to Search and Destroy, they are looking fantastic. Vegas have actually won 11 of the last 12 Search and Destroys that they've played. They are looking so good. But let's just bring it back to some of the reasons as to why TJ is such a big player for this Vegas Legion team when it does come down to Search and Destroy. And he shows it with this highlight, the ace against the Royal Ravens. I mean, this guy is just absolutely ridiculous on his day, isn't he? Those two, Nastie gets himself away, plays it so patiently. There's a seam. We'll have number 4 for breakfast as well. Thank you very much, Paul X.
Wow.
I mean, it kind of was Paul's own fault, but it kind of counts as TJ's kill. Does that count as it is?
Yeah, it does, because he hit him and he went out, so he got the kill. And
yeah, I'm sure he's laughing.
It. The funniest thing, actually, the conversation after that clip, we remember Paul X jumped out as people went, Shotzzy might do that and make it. Get out of the map, run around the back and get back in. But yeah, that was kind of a disappointing way to lose. But you are right. The statistic here for Legion says this should be a W. They have struggled everywhere else, but S&D, it's basically their game.
You'd think so. You would think so. But then that's one of those things we talk about so often. We try to bring the stats into it, yada, yada, yada. Everyone's just like, yeah, what are you guys talking about? Yeah, okay, yeah, they'll probably win Search and Destroy. And then things get turned on their head. But for all it is a 7-win streak for the Vegas Legion, for the New York Subliners, you're on a 0-3 in the last 3. It's not looking great. But for a small caveat, those 3 losses were 2 against Atlanta by 2 rounds in each of them, and a 6-3 loss on this map in particular as well. LSE up against Florida. So more practice coming in for the New York Subliners when it does come down to this map. But are you going to be able to find the win against the so-called strongest Search and Destroy team in the game? Let's find out.
Well, only time will tell us as we go straight into this game as well. And Clayster with the sniper out. I believe the stats behind this say that usually with a sniper out in Clay's hands, they do very, very well on this map.
I mean, they aren't going to need to do much when Priestahh finds that there. Is Clayster going to be able to find anything? TJ is able to find the trade. Clayster yet to influence, and well, Clayster will have to influence somewhere down the line as he is the last alive. And I'll just reiterate what I said at the top. When it has come down to rounds for Vegas, when Clayster has been on this map without the sniper, they're winning about 50%. When he gets the sniper out, 77% of the time. 14 out of 18 rounds. And he's had the big stick out. Vegas Legion have won. That's about to be 14 out of 19 here, you would think so, unless he can pull off the 1 versus 3, making it 1 versus 2.
Well, it's still going to be difficult, running out of time here. He heard Skyz. There's the C4 player already shooting on his left, and down he's going to go. And yeah, well, that's going to be a negative there for Clay with his sniper. Tries to make the 1 versus 3. Was hoping maybe for a little bit more of a trade from his teammates, but first round done and dusted, and it goes to New York. It's funny because, you know, we're in map number 1. I was like, oh, they've never broke this hill, or this one, or this one. They broke every single time that we got towards those hills. So the Vegas Legion going against the stats so far, and in that sense, negatively, that sniping round not working out for the side of Clayster. But good work from the Subliners. The aggression through mid-map shuts down the push, and then, yeah, okay, if you've got a sniper, great. If you've got nobody else left alive, though, not great. Not great at all. 1-0 to the Subliners. Let's see what they can do in the attack it. Ready, KiSMET. Inside and close. I just pushed field. Right now, New York are playing this patient, maybe looking for an opportunity. I just to see if anybody overextends as he slowly and stealthily makes his way forward. Sees an old teammate. Clayster's going to go down. First blood to New York. Gets out as well. So crucial. Especially down this side of the map. You'd think the ARs are there to reign supreme, but we are indeed hailing HyDra, as per usual. TJ inside the bomb site, though, an important job to do. They've seen him as well. They're trying to get through, and he managed to get 2! What? TJ! I think the nade went the wrong way, and it's a collapse. The Subliners stack and pay the price. I don't even know where that nade exactly come from, but Skyz takes out a teammate. Here it is. I think the nade hits the doorway as they fly through, and it's just a complete cleanup. I even think Skyz got hit by a nade as well. TJ should have died. I mean, that arguably they couldn't have went worse. Yeah, I mean, completely disastrous for the New York Subliners. That's when you have to clean up on, you know, if Skyz gets that grenade at the right angle. I wonder if it maybe hit one of the players as they go for the break. He's maybe trying to bounce it off the door to give them an entry. Doesn't time it quite right. Vegas Legion find one back, and, well, you'll take the rub of the green this time.
Heading over towards A once again. No, Skyz with the angle on the outside. TJ survives.
Only just. Skyz can get him as well. KiSMET takes down Priestahh. And now 2 versus 4. Legion hoping for this one back, and he has. Probably managed to get another one. I don't know if he knows his prayer's waiting for him. He doesn't. HyDra gets him. And Temp left in a 1 versus 3. The attacks for Legion, not as coordinated or as concise as they would like. Their trades are not flying in.
Temp now not in the best of positions, but I don't think they're going to any clue where he is. Well, they will now. As the shots rain through, Priestahh will be dealt with. 1 versus 2 now for Temp. Bomb not in a great place though, and I think that's going to be his biggest issue here. You can see the Subliner setting up for that. 25 seconds, got to get the bomb or kill both of them. Good luck to Temp. This is going to be difficult.
It really is. Dead Silence going to be popped. But with no time left, is he going to be able to find anything here at all? Goes for the jump up. It's a potential. Timing could go for him here. Gonna fire straight to the crossfire. With no time left, he did not know they were both sitting in the stairwell. And I thought maybe, just maybe, everything would line up for him, but it was not written in the stars.
No, not this time. Unfortunate that. For the side of Temp, he does well enough, but time not on his side. Has to rush that in that case. Well set up from the Subliners. Back and forth so far. And arguably, you know, Subliners be looking at this. If that grenade hadn't come through the wrong way, had it even get the tag onto TJ, then that makes things very, very different. They could arguably be 3-0 up here if it wasn't for a little bit of misfortune. But still, 2-1. They'll be feeling good. Legion need to answer back very, very quickly, though.
KiSMET looking for another first blood. No stun check on him. They don't know he's this close. Only thing though, Priestahh will be cautious with how far HyDra pushed up last time around. And TJ's already going to find him and gets away with his life. First blood, KiSMET left alone in field, but it will already be a trade. HyDra gets pro loot. And both teams maybe just catching the breath here. I say that, TJ's gone for a chow. HyDra and him go round and round and round, and it's HyDra again. 3-streak, 5-1.
And you honestly wonder why Subliners get rid of this map so much, because you got HyDra in these kind of positions. It must be an absolute nightmare for anybody to deal with. Temp is doing his best to try and do that. Not gonna happen. Make it 3. HyDra absolutely frying right now.
French Phenom, and he's gonna go for it! HyDra versus Clay! And Clay gets away with a scrap of health. A 1v3 if he can make it. But the odds are stacked against him, and jumps down, loses life, loses the round, and New York keep marching forward.
HyDra just doing his utmost to win the round for his team there. Nearly got a hold of the ace, to be honest. And it's just, as I said halfway through that round, I don't understand how they're not necessarily doing the business when it has come down to LSE, or maybe they just don't like it flat out. You'd expect a player like HyDra, though, to just cause havoc every single round, kind of. And that wasn't even an intentional segue. Play like how Havoc does, just straight down the middle of the map. Trying to go for those first bloods, be absolutely chaotic as possible. 6-1, 4 spree for him. Subliners looking good here in the search and destroy. That crutch of S&D win that Vegas Legion must find here. This could haunt them if they can't win this map.
HyDra's looking to move into action again. He's close on the door.
Bomb going down.
This bomb goes down. He may push it very, very quickly. KiSMET already finds one, though. HyDra's already got through the door as well. That bomb is down, but so is a member of the Legion. So 3 versus 3. HyDra goes down as well. Legion have control. Skyz in the exact same position that HyDra was in, but can't find anyone.
Or a gun. Looking for the Vaznev. Well, gets stuck on the door. Doesn't work out. Priestahh now. 1v2 fix the bomb site, to be honest, really well played, but Priestahh knows that trick. He knows everyone in the book. Finds the kill, finds the round. Vegas Legion bouncing back here. That was essential. 4-1, very different to 3-2, especially on the mental side of things. But HyDra just not able to get in that position. TJ shuts it down. Skyz once again tries that same route into the bomb site. Does not work out. Good work from Legion to lock that down.
And so the game continues on. And you are right about this scoreline, Ton. Realistically, a 4-1 there may have been very demoralizing for the Legion, but they pull it out of the fire. They're looking to make their own move here. TJ being a bit aggressive. There was also attacks flying down. Priestahh, but it is traded.
Oh, great shots and great nade. My word, KiSMET. TJ, oh, that's not a good gunfight. HyDra will be happy to win that one. All of a sudden, a 2 versus 2 after KiSMET's heroics outside of field. Vegas Legion don't find themselves at an advantage whatsoever. KiSMET looking for another one here. HyDra, former teammates. You can't catch him. He's literally invisible on the map at times. Temp will clean it up though to 1v2.
Temp goes straight for it. Almost gun Skyz, but not quite.
Red's not there.
A 1 versus 1. Veteran C on the side of KiSMET, but it will be Skyz who will set the pace. He chooses where this bomb goes. You already see Clay is very hesitant to go anywhere right now. Neither of them really know what to expect. In this scenario, both players will have lost the identity in their head of where the other player is. That's why they're so slow. They genuinely have no idea where the other has gone.
I mean, where was the last time KiSMET was when he shot some bullets? It wasn't anywhere near here. That grenade, though, is going to give him a little bit of information. Skyz gets none of it. No hit markers, but gets our bomb down. 1 versus 1. 40 seconds to go.
Right now, Clay, I think he was trying to look over to see whether or not he dipped back or stayed near the fence. But he still has to be careful. Still check the corners. Still watch for the wrap. Skyz is just aiming one direction, hoping for the best. He's going to see Clay as well. Clay tags him up. 24 health remaining. Clay now has to move and try to capitalize on this. He's gone inside. Skyz gets his health back. And KiSMET is close. So close. It's a dive out, and it's going to be Skyz. Absolute patience, but so much frustration from KiSMET. He knows he almost had him.
I just caught myself laughing during that 1 versus 1. When Skyz, I don't know if anybody in the chat caught it. When he starts getting shot and jumps around the corner, his head's dodging at the same time. We've all done it. We've all done it. It's still funny, though. Big win from Skyz. Makes it 4-2. And that's a big moment for him specifically. This map's been a real big struggle. And overall, 0.44 out of the side of Skyz is not impressive, but he's doing well at a 2KD here. 4-2 for the Subliners now. We're going to put this one to bed. You've got 2 more rounds, Legion. We need to come back here.
Where are they going? It looks like maybe a field push, but TJ is going to be seen. He stays alive. I don't think a single bullet was hit there, but here goes KiSMET. Dead silence popped. Already around the flank, looking for them. Down goes Temp. HyDra finds Proloot. It's an absolute blitz as they continue to run them off, and KiSMET's left alone in a 1 versus 4 again, and down he goes. KiSMET gets him as well.
I mean, blitz is just about right. HyDra finds 2. Aggressiveness inside, and KiSMET on the massive flank, and then KiSMET's like, I haven't got a clue what day it is now. My teammates are all dead. I'm left all alone. We only have 1 more opportunity here to try and bring this map back. It's 1 round away for the side of the New York Subliners. The S&D war is somewhat put to bed here. As mentioned, the three losses in Search and Destroy in a row, Bryce, has it really been indicative of their Search and Destroy overall? I'm not too sure, because they went up against some very good teams. They're going up against one of the best teams in Search and Destroy here, and they're making them look very average.
Yeah, statistics for this game really aren't telling us the story. I think you said earlier something crazy for the Legion in terms of win percentage on S&D. I think 11 out of the last 12 S&Ds Legion have played, they have won. That stat looks like it's about to change. Now hesitant, and KiSMET is going to miss KiSMET. And 4 players on both sides still remain.
And Subliners, I think the problem really has been these areas in the middle of the map, inside of bar, inside of the site over towards A. That has been the problem. HyDra and KiSMET have been causing absolute havoc. Now for the Vegas Legion, can you bring it back some way, somehow? HyDra, not just inside, but outside as well, is getting the job done. He's 10-3. He might be the best player in the game, to be honest with you. KiSMET, scope over the top. He's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, it gets down. HyDra. It's just a problem all of the time. And down he goes as well. Temp for a 1 versus 4 to stay alive in this S&D. Just enough he can do it. Does take down the problem child of HyDra. But 3 more remain. Gonna find Skyz as well. Goes for it. And Skyz surely just gonna throw the shoulder and dip, and he does. And Legion's record means nothing in the face of the brutality they've just been delivered on iLLeY. Frustration all over the faces of Legion. Places left, gone.
Couple of big moments though. Couple of 1v1s. They go different directions. We maybe have a different scoreline, but ultimately the one we end up with is a fair one. Subliners quite dominant through that entire game, but as we said, HyDra is the one causing issues. That is 11 kills and 11 of them non-traded. He is just such a problem. When he finds a kill, he has this unique skill of just being able to get away. He knows where to go, he knows where you're not going to be. Finds a kill, gets out like he hasn't even been like a thief in the night. My goodness, what a performance from HyDra. 6-2 Subliners, 2-0 up in the series. And considering the win condition for Vegas Legion has surely got to be the search and destroy. You find yourself 2-0 down against the Stage 1 champions. This is surely over.
Yeah. We kind of were relying on Legion maybe to pull that one out of the fire, and they did not. Obviously, New York looking incredible here, and it could just be the difference in skills. But this series is not over. There is a reverse sweep of the cards. It'll be a miracle on this game. But all that to come and more after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this for more Call of Duty League.
Upgrade your game with the Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. There's a wonderful production. They could turn on some lights in there. We'll see more beautiful people, but there's an awful lot that goes into making this happen. So big shout out to them having to look at us all day. That's never a pleasant thing, but it is a good thing to look at New York versus Vegas Legion. Right now, though, it is 2-0 to New York. The Legion looking a little bit down in the dumps, and that is not a good look for Temp.
It isn't. And he's one of those guys, when you talk about Vegas Legion, you think of the star power, especially in previous years on this roster. Of course, in the Paris iteration, he has been that guy. He ain't been that guy in this series so far. We're talking about his Warzone Hotel in general. When it has come down to hardpoint, he's struggled there. Struggled in the search, not looking good, and he's going to really need to step it up here. Vegas Legion, statistically, the worst control team in the game, and, well, might be one of the worst control teams on the planet in terms of hardpoint the hotel. It's just not looking good. Statistically wise, their defensive and attacking win rates are as low as possible. They need to pull a real rabbit out of the hat here as New York heads straight over towards B.
Yeah, that first tick is going to already be in for New York at B. One player having to wrap behind HyDra's found TJ before he can do any more damage. Skyz is keeping Prolud and Clayster away, and Priestahh also has that same cut. Skyz has to dump out here before he can do anything else, but Priestah's still alive. Fights one, fights two, fights the third, but will go down. Temp finds a kill, but the second tick now in for New York.
Looks like it's just about going to get there for the side of Legion, but the damage already done to a certain extent. KiSMET on his way over. Prolud is able to rebuttal this attack over towards the A side for the New York Subliners, though, with Priestahh says thank you very much, Clayster. There's a beatdown way playing Black Ops 4, the shot punch, remember that? Oh my goodness. Subliners over towards A, looking like it's going to get locked in. The best attacking team on the game when it does come down to hotel control. Flexing their muscles here. 4 ticks already over the 2 hills.
Looks very, very slick here for New York. Second ticket A, and already Clayster gets annihilated. Skyz looking for his 4th is going to go down. That's a good retake by Legion. However,
I love
they've
this.
given up B.
I love this. HyDra has control of B. An ultimate control of B, but doesn't give away the info that he's here. All of a sudden, Legion are pushed out maybe a little bit too far over towards A. They spawn over towards B, and they're like, oh, Paco's already there. He has a free route over towards B. There's B secured. Now for the side of Vegas Legion, can you lock A in? We have seen it happen, Brycey. Haven't seen it from Vegas Legion, though. So let's see if Subliners can, once again, just show their prowess when it does come down to these attacking rounds on hotel control.
Does Legion have the steel in the spine to hold off all the pressure coming through? HyDra's already fine, but Clayster does just enough damage to allow Temp to get that kill through. And now you can already see the Legion need to stay alive. Temp doing everything he can. He gets another kill for this one. TJ already pushing out, finds Skyz as well. So far the line is holding.
Temp was doing a good job and did a good job at staying alive there, but it was Prolud inside the kitchen that really needed to be that guy. Finds one, gets traded, but now TJ is here and he's like, I'll be that guy inside the kitchen. Finds 2 in a row. Looking for a 3rd, and this is just to force New York to spawn out as well. You get yourself inside the kitchen, they ain't spawning anywhere near it. Stays alive as well, just, yeah.
Very well.
He's done so well.
Kill. But this is where it gets a little bit dangerous. The Legion are in a good position, but they cannot afford to lose too many gunfights. Skyz takes down Priestahh, though. That is unlucky. Here it comes. Last run for the Subliners. KiSMET finds one onto Temp already. They're going for it as well now. Prolud gets a kill down. Nate goes out as well. Prolud doing everything he can, but he does go down. And the Subliners are going to be in. They have found a route through. TJ is going to have to move. He finds HyDra on the reinforcements. Is that going to be enough? The rest of the Legion are looking to lock this one down, and they've done it. Only Skyz alive.
Skyz in a decent enough position, but he's found the kills. This is a 3 versus 4 momentarily. Clayster has to start going huge. KiSMET finds the kill. They're in.
It's a stack as well. That second tick is rocketing forward.
It's done.
They're going to lose. It's in a 3 versus 8. They're going to have to push. They're flying forward, but it's not going to be enough time. And New York win it. And you can see just how devastated the Legion are going to be. Fingertips, hairs, the tiniest of margins. And somehow New York walk away with the win.
I am perplexed. KiSMET does so well to stay alive over towards Duel. Slows things down. And honestly, I thought that was done when TJ's inside of kitchen. HyDra actually spawns pretty close. So HyDra's like, well, there must be a kitchen because I just spawned next to it. Nope, he is in kitchen. TJ finds the kills, and I think it's done and dusted at that stage. But just staying alive around the site, I think it was KiSMET and Skyz in a good position, and then they just win all their gunfights. You can't account for that if you're Legion. You played the majority of the round really, really well. But can you answer back this time around with an attack of your own? New York Subliners looking to go 2-0 up. Give them a strong position to be in. Legion heading over towards it to try and extend that time.
They've almost taken out HyDra, but not quite. And there is certainly some guns firing on the Legion side as they try to get back into this. With that aTic coming through, I think HyDra just trying to be a nuisance of himself here. See if he can catch a few kills on the out.
No need to overstep. You can already see Vegas Legion starting to overextend over towards the lobby side to try and lock that down. It's a big kill from Placer, actually. That's going to be a couple of players heading over towards it, but Subliners say, right, okay, let's just run with this. Find the kills over towards it. They know they've overextended over towards B, and then we're just going to have to go over towards B ourselves. But it's a good setup here from Legion.
Can they hold it, though? Placer looking for the players he knows are pushing, but all down he goes. It's all Subliners in a kill feed. And Legion get rebuffed. Not a single tick was had. TJ's still going to be here. He might try and sneak this, but we already know there's a player behind him, and down he goes as well. HyDra on a 5. Legion with no map control.
And it just feels like the Subliners are pulling Legion across the map. That's 4 dead. That kill feed lit up very, very quickly, but I'm pretty sure that everybody on Legion died very, very quickly. Now you can see HyDra starting to push up glass side. It's going to force the kitchen spawn. There's a cruise missile on top of it as well. Legion are going to have to perform some kind of magic over towards it here.
Oh, they're going to be in for now, but Skyz finds 2 more. KiSMET finds another, and HyDra calls in the God Rod and crashes it into a building. Doesn't do anything with it in the end, but A's actually being taken. They might have a little bit more time. That second kill will not come through for Priestahh. Legion will have a reprieve. They grab A, they grab the time, and it's still game on.
And I think when you're calling in that cruise missile, the last thing you want to see in the kill feed is all 3 of your other teammates dying. Not ideal. HyDra will be disappointed at that, but he won't be disappointed at what his ARs are doing towards the back. Skyz, Priestahh combining well. No push through duel quite coming yet, but Temp is there to maybe try and cause some issue towards the back spawn, but for the rest of the Legion, you're yet to really get yourself in a good position. And just look at where HyDra is.
Wait a minute.
Look where HyDra is. He's in glass. He's just wrapped all the way through mid, and now he's in bedroom. They haven't got a look in at where HyDra is whatsoever.
And there he goes again. Just being probably on an 8 streak as well, and continues to run around. Just switching guns so fast. A definition of cracked, but the Legion, it's a 15 versus 3. They're nowhere really near to get anything done here either. No ticks onto B. Temp may even find a kill here, but with 27 seconds left to go, they have to be flawless. And HyDra already finds pro loot.
He doesn't want to die. He wants to continue the streak. The Simp record, ain't going to be broken this time. Temp's like, yeah, we might not win the round. At least I shot him down. That was 9 in a row before HyDra dies. A little smile, a little disappointed smile, if anything. But Subliners secure the round. And once again, looking like such a steady and strong control team. Whereas Legion just never got anything going whatsoever.
And now Legion, 2-0 down in the series, 2-0 down in the control. Could be the greatest reverse sweep we have ever seen. But a lot more needs to improve from the Legion before that happens.
KiSMET now, making the push over towards A. Looking to try and put a final nail in the coffin of this series. Legion haven't been out the races whatsoever, but their search and destroy was so strong from Subliners. Legion, no answer there. I'm going to have to find 3 rounds here in the control at this moment in time, Bryce.
They certainly are, but the team with their foot firm on the pedal will be the New York Subliners. Let's find out how they are feeling in the comms, though, with the New York. Listen in.
Yo, cut off my lobby, cut off my lobby. Cut off my lobby.
I have your left.
Any secret, any secret.
True secret. All of them.
Just stay, watch lobby, watch lobby, watch lobby, watch lobby. I have a
hold mid, I'll hold mid, alright?
Lobby, tell you.
One was mid, pocket out.
Link down mid. E4, pro loot.
I have mid,
No, double shot me.
Alright, just get out,
They're double going dead. Cheers, double dead.
What?
Couches, guys.
That was one shot.
How much are he's pitching our kitchen, I think. I hear him. One shot down.
One rugs on me. Rugs, two rugs,
One's pitching us. I hear him.
two of them rugs.
Help. I got one. I got one. This is another one.
Oh, I got me. This side. He's in the pillar. Middle side.
Nice. Three. I'm capping.
It's,
I think he's blocking. Cap for time.
Wait, they stunned our side.
I did.
One shot shit him.
Alright, guys, relax. Alright, I'm going big. I'm going. I need my mid doors. Listen, our first break, we're gonna go deep, okay? Alright. One's one. Yo,
I'm behind him.
I'm cutting mid. There's first one, just running secret. I'm gonna work on it.
Clay chow deep last time.
Yep. He spawned secret, okay? I hear you.
Stop chat, Tim. Left side,
Diving across
one on bed. Top bed. Yeah, I'm gonna work secret here, bro. I think Clay's gonna hold it.
I'm holding.
Top bed.
I heard you. Stop. Secret, tell me. One shot for you. I'm leaving him. Yo, any kills we get, like, secret free.
He's gonna tell me I'm dead secret.
Yo, shop is dead.
Prelude secret. One's funny out.
Prelude secret weak, Clay.
Alright, take it down.
Secret. I think with PT Sears. PT Sears, heal up. Dead.
Nice. One more P2.
I spawned
Or P4, I think.
I spawned deep, guys.
And you wonder why the subliners are so good at control. Listen to those comms, thinking about where their next attack route is coming whilst they're still capturing it. That proactive thought you can hear from HyDra. We heard Clayster pushing around that side. He was always sitting deep. It's just the constant information they're giving to each other is helping themselves out. They're inside of B. They're looking to close the series.
They are looking for it. B ticking. Skyz, Priestahh, they find them all. Only TJ left. It's going to be a stack coming through. Can TJ be the hero they need? He finds one, but down he falls. And that third tick rocks in. It's a 3-0 on the control. It's a 3-0 in the series. And New York put another statement onto the CDL. Beaten last week, but not today.
Just quite simply flawless. We knew the search and destroy was maybe going to be an issue heading into this series. Maps 1 and 3 are of no surprise. But showing after 3 losses in a row in search and destroy, you chow Vegas on a good map for them. A map that you've barely played, your normal veto, and smoke them on it. And then the 3-0 on control is pretty much just a formality at this stage of how good subliners are looking right now. What a series from them. Very, very good performance.
Pretty much what we expected coming in, but the crazy thing about this is the hard point looked so close. I thought, hey, maybe we're going to see something a little bit different. And then we went onto the S&D and we did see something different. We saw Legion losing from a 7 S&D streak. And then we go onto the control and it's just like night and day. Somehow New York pull a 3 versus 8 out of the fire ton, and it's game over.
Yeah, and that's going to be a morale killer if you're on the side of Legion. You're looking good for a round. Yeah, okay, your stats have not looked great. You find the defensive round, maybe something can come from it. Maybe that's the start of the reverse sweep. I still think it would have been a tall order, but big clutch up from New York. Big series from them as well.
Certainly was. Well, let's throw it over to our desk then to break down everything we have just seen.
Yeah, I think we all expected this New York squad to come out swinging, especially after that loss to Atlanta FaZe on our last show. But tonight, I don't know if many of us expected a 3-0 and to beat Vegas in their best game mode. They get it done in search and destroy, handing Vegas just their 6th loss out of the 20 games they've played. But what was most impressive for you, iLLeY, as we look at this subliner win?
It had to be that game, too. That was a map that I kind of already signed off to the Vegas Legion. I mean, you're talking about the #1 search and destroy team in the league, and just about all statistics as well. For New York to come out the way that they did, they're looking even scarier than they did before. Like, they were already one of the top teams. Now their S&D is looking like that.
And this is our scuff play of the game. Let's take a look at that search and destroy win. Nameless, walk me through this, because Vegas is so good at this game mode, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're unbelievable. And especially at this map, too, Puckett. Like, Vegas are great at here. We always seen, Clay get those picks with the sniper. But there was something different about this one. And for New York, it's HyDra. He gets up close and personal each time. He was getting into their closet. He's on offense. On the other side, he's pushing up through the right side of the map, past satellite, through courtyard. He's getting into your base. And there is literally nothing that you can do against HyDra when he's flowing like that and he's on your side. He can get a kill, jump up on the junk, get back up top your base, pops Duddy. He's finessing you the entire time. HyDra's just a man on a mission, man. They couldn't stop him.
We got to bring in KiSMET right now to talk about this victory. KiSMET, I got hit with the time hop. It was me and you on the stage back at the very first LAN event in Minnesota. Right. Now we see you wearing a subliner jersey, and you guys are at the top of the leaderboard. What was today's win like, and what went down in that search?
I mean, I guess like the one word is dominance. That's our biggest thing that we're going for, like in the series that we go in for the future. Because I think our respawn is incredibly good, and then we've been just super focused on S&D, and it showed today, which felt really good.
Now, Kiz, that S&D, that aLLeY map, that is usually your auto veto. You play it in this series. When did it click for you guys, or was this just a test?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a test anymore. We've been putting a lot of time in S&D in in our scrims and stuff, so we've become better at that map. So I don't know. It was definitely an auto veto before, but now we're trying to expand that map pool to where when you try to veto against us, like it's every single time it's pick your poison type energy. So it just feels good to like, I don't know, like be able to transition from scrims to the actual matches, and you know.
KiSMET, so we've seen, you know, even in this series, in the clutch moments, just how good you guys are when it's a nail biter at the very end of a hard point, or in control when you're down in lives, you guys are clutching up. What has given you guys an edge in those scenarios? Is that something that you guys talk about headed into these series?
Realistically, we just talk about playing loose. I mean, you have me and Paka that are just insane playmakers, and no discredit to Priestahh or Skyz. Like, they're gross in their regard, but like allowing us to flow and just be annoying and be a thorn in the side of the teams, like allows it to just, like, it's so easy. And I don't know, we're just clicking right now.
Tell me a little bit about what to expect from this team in Boston, and are you worried at all that you might not have the #1 seed after that loss to Atlanta FaZe?
No, I don't really care about seeding. I mean, right now we're just trying to, like I said, dominance. Regardless of if we're in losers, I don't really care. We're trying to go back to back, and that's our goal.
Is there anyone you want to play in particular?
Right now, dude, I need to get my hands on Scrappy, dude. He's just really been pissing me off in scrims, and I just need another rematch against that kid.
Chat, you guys want to see Subliners versus Toronto? I'm here for it. KiSMET will let you go celebrate with the team, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Love the Bulldog, and I love seeing this team continue to impress, because honestly, a lot of people in the community are saying, oh, Raleigh's a fluke. This is a one-off. They have kept it consistent. Just one series lost this entire stage qualifier. We still have an excellent day in front of you, and as we update our standings right now, you can see the Subliners, you're back into the top 3, tied there with Toronto Ultra. You win again tomorrow, well, you're going to be in that top 2. As we look at everyone else here, this was a big loss for Vegas. Yeah. You are now in that 9th spot. You only have 1 match remaining, and the Mutineers win earlier today is basically going to keep them in the running for the top 8. With that final match, though, we have the Guerrillas taking on FaZe. That's #5 versus #6. Is that going to be the tightest match of the day, aLLeY?
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be a good one. Stick around. We're ready for it, and we want to remind you on the way to that game, pick up your gear right now. It's live over at CallOfDutyLeague.com. We've got the best gear, and it's not just the jerseys. Look at the fresh hoodies they're dropping. I need to cop that Subliner one, nameless.
Yeah, that New York one's fire. You see the pockets? I love the graffiti on the side. Right, send me one of these.
Sonny's already got 2 of them in his closet. Just borrow his. All right, and of course, if you want to be dropping in-game with the gear, we've got the team pack. Support your favorite teams. Wear their gear in-game. You could have watched me losing on multiple player streams in the Warzone competitions while wearing my LA Thieves jersey. We got a break. When we come back, it's that battle. Guerrillas taking on your #6 seed, Atlanta FaZe, climbing back up the leaderboard.